Good evening, everybody. This is Bibi Tinsley in Los Angeles, California, broadcasting to you live. Just a few minutes to go until midnight. Thank goodness I made it. We made a promise to broadcast live every day until the spring equinox. That is my partner in cosmic, well, we can't say cosmic crime, really, because I don't think such a thing exists, but you get the gist. That would be Carrie Keegan. Carrie, if you're listening to this right now, I doubt it. I hope you're sound asleep because you had a wonderful, adventurous day with your friend. And I thought it would be fun, without Carrie, to tell you guys a little bit about my adventures in soul writing. I have been an actress almost all my life, and I think as I'm exploring this that I went into acting in order to avoid what I really wanted to do. We avoid the things that we love for many different reasons. But anyway, that would be writing. So I've been delving into it a bit again. And I started a process called soul writing. I took a class from this wonderful teacher, Joanne DiMaggio, sponsored by the Edgar Cayce Institute, the Association for Research and Enlightenment. And it was a really, really cool experience. We did guided meditations. Basically, one relaxes and attempts several different types of modalities in order to relax. Joanne uses meditation, specifically guided meditations. The goal is to connect with one's soul and begin writing not in the automatic fashion. Edgar Cayce himself said that this was not a good idea, that one can open oneself to all different kinds of energies and entities, and that if one calls forth the protection of divine beings and light before the process, it's perfectly safe and wondrous and can be a marvelous way to get in tune with your higher self and your soul. So I started doing that about a year ago. And I'm going to share with you something that I wrote, if I can find it. I had it up on my laptop screen here. It's hopelessly cluttered with lots of things. Where are you? Here we go. This is called Swinna. The word look is very clear, and I am aware of a high and wild place. It is Scotland, but a Scotland that few now know existed, for this is so very long ago, and I do not get a date. I feel this was a time when humanity had no need for time or calendars or anything other than the sun, the weather, and the turn of the seasons to know where they stood, breathed, and played their soul's game. The land is somehow different than it is in these times. I know this, but I'm not sure why, so I strive to really see and feel my environment. Then I see what look like tropical trees, the kind that grow in warmer climes than what we know of present-day Scotland. Their branches are heavy with citrus fruit that is a most wonderful orange magenta shade, and they are the size of regular oranges. I can smell the sea, and there is the taste of salt and the slight wind. I feel hair blowing across my face, and I realize it is mine. I am a 9-year-old girl, and I am laughing and shouting, and see that there is another with me, and this is my best friend. He is about a year older than I, and although he looks quite human, he is not. Some would refer to him as imaginary, but I see that he is very real. We are playing our favorite game of disappear. My friend is of the race of the fair. In this lifetime, I've always known about them, but they are hardly here at all anymore for all kinds of reasons, mostly consisting of our stupidity and lack of grace. Even at 9, I am in love with this shining boy. He glows luminescent, but then so do I, for I also had the great gift. Some of the mothers and aunts would whisper that I was part fair, given how I had glowed like a beacon in the dark ever since I came out of my dear mother. But there had never been a thought of mischief, for she was a good wife to dear father, and their love was strong and true, and it flowed in currents for those lucky enough to be in their auras. No, this girl that I was knew that the fair and humanity had come from the same place once upon a time, and that's why she had this glow. I can't hear his name, but he calls me Swin. It sounds like Swinna. And then it's Winnie, which is his nickname for me. Our folk live on the hills, and his live in the hills, and this was a time when all came together for sacred ceremony, the sharing of the wonder of the breath. And the one holy day I love most then is this child, the great Tellings Day, when all would gather at high summer, and the grand elders would tell the stories of their great and wondrous lives. People and the fair remembered their past lives then, but people have forgotten these days so much of that great time. Then the boy and the girl are about 6 or 7 years older, and they stand together with garlands of flowers being tied around them as they are being prepared for the wedding oaths that will be taken very shortly. This is a big place we're in. I see myself looking up, and then I see the windows high up with the shafts of light coming down. They have been formed to point into a pool of water when the sun is at midday, and I look to see this little pool made of stone, so beautifully made, and you can just see the divinity and the beauty of the water, and there is the fragrance of roses. My family and my love's family are with us in this wonderful room. This is no church because there were not yet any priests, and all we knew of the lands in the east from the tellings of the elders. In some of the tellings, they said that our ancestors had come from there in boats, riding high waters and landing on our home as we knew it. We'd known it for a very long time. Our families are with us in this place with the high ceilings and the domed roof, letting in the shafts of sunlight. I watch as all begin to chant in a very harmonic call and response. The leader of the chant is an older woman, my grandmother. She stands strong and straight, her white hair plaited into several braids that are wrapped around her head like a natural royal crown. And then I see her daughter, my mother, come towards me as the chant continues. The chant is soft, very soft now. She smiles a mother love smile to and for me, and then she takes up my long dark blonde hair and begins to braid it just like her own and the grandmother's. This is how I will show myself from now on, when not with my husband. There are soft, good-natured chuckles and giggles from my smaller sisters, and the chant rises up in pitch, reaching a harmony that feels to me as if it is directed toward the top of the domed ceiling. A feeling flows out from the ceiling and all around, and I think this is what a blessing is. It is real, it is created, and you can actually feel it like honey and precious silvered golden light particles. They get on your skin and in your hair, and you feel the blessing inside as it tickles, sweetens, and heats up your heart. So much love is here, and my fair love is so beautiful, strong, and handsome. His folk are there too, in testament and in celebration. My wedding to this magnificent young son of the fair laird is a coming together of two great clans in hopes of a future that would show us all more of the sweet mystery of the divine play. At that moment I stopped writing, and I was really quite overcome, and I picked up my pen, and I believe that this is where the actual communication with whatever it is, you can be the determiner of that, came through. I say, and I'll try and make it understandable because I don't want to go I say and then it or they say, so hopefully you'll understand this dialogue. Thank you for this memory, but I can't go on because this feeling of loss is too much. Yes, we understand. Your bodies were different then and capable of holding much greater capacities of God's love. That is changing back now, and you yourself know this. Even though I feel grief and loss, I don't believe I experienced anything other than supreme contentment and joy. A very long lifetime in what you've shown me. A lifetime of service by adding to love, living the nobility of knowing love in many of its different forms. It was so magnificent. Yes, we show this to you, so you can be aware that those whisperings and fragments of visions you've experienced and are experiencing are real. They were real and they are real, dear one. Ah, I miss him with a searing pain, my great love. He came back as Sundar, didn't he? Yes. Is he my twin flame? This is most complex, dearest, but we want to tell it to you straight. Yes and no. I don't understand. There are divine laws that are applicable to humanity, but Kerala, for that was his name, was subject to different laws. This has the possibility of exhausting me, but please tell me some more about Kerala, Sundar. There are these laws of karma, the divine system that has been in an attempt to undo the miscreations made by humans and others. The karmic laws have served humanity well, only up to a certain extent, but, as we said, the changes have begun. And these changes are of the light, and they are good, and there will come the day when all people will experience kind of love that you, Aswina, knew back in Ainolidland, as it was once called. We tell you now that you came to be queen with Kerlag, your king. This was not English royal in the tradition of what you had been taught in the school books. Nor is it the way it has been practiced for many, many thousands of years. You and he were chosen queen and king, for the people loved you both, and you loved them, and you were Swina had the hands of power, and the other power of the skin of the glowing. Kerlag as king held the light of the spirit of all of earth's elementals, and those far and wide knew of the both of you. This was not a rulership, as it has come to be known. The term stewardship is closer to what we wish to convey here, but there are no words in your language now to give true meaning to the union. Oh, my gracious. So these memories, these stirrings and visions, etc., that have been here with me in this life for as long as I can remember are truth. I feel a grief that transcends personality and lover or child or mother. Our one heart of humanity is broken, and we are putting it back together with help from high places, and better even than before, right? You are very correct, dear one. You have been on a very, very long journey. It has been a journey here in this earth realm of losing more and more since coming into these denser bodies. For most people, this is the truth. Am I right? You are. I feel almost on the verge of overwhelm, almost, but not completely. I want to take some time to let this settle and integrate. This would be wise. I do have a couple of questions. Yes. Did I have to come back to this and experience this life? No. It was, and continues to be, your choice. You answered a call that went out, and you came in love. You are what has been termed a volunteer, and you also exist simultaneously in other aspects and other forms, both physical and non-physical. Many in your soul groups joined you, jumping at the opportunity of playing out different scenarios in order to gain grace and knowledge toward their respective evolvements. Was it Kerlag Sundar, who came to me at the San Francisco airport in 2011 when I was on my way to Chicago? Yes, it was. It was very quick, but he was unmistakably very real, and his gaze stopped your sense of being in time, did it not? I think you were in on this with him. Oh, it feels like what it feels when we go home. I mean, what I feel like now, and I know he and we will be together again, in a state where I can at least remain conscious of it. I just want to laugh and cry at the same time. Can you give him a message for me? You yourself are capable of this. You are further along this path than you realize. You are on the path of developing your mastery so that by using your intention and sacred will, the creation of the appropriate structures and geometries for connection to whatever and whoever you choose can be manifested by you with ease and grace. And we say to you with great love that your desire for connection is your divine motivation. Mysteries and miracles are yours for the taking. They are there to be perceived and experienced in your every step, every action, and every thought. The word mystery, after all, refers to that which is hidden, and this would be those marvelous underlying sacred secrets awaiting your own experience of revelation. The lifetime received tonight is given with great purpose for your development, and it is desired that you will imbibe the information with the intention of remembrance of your embodiment as Swinna. There is a treasure trove of information here for you. This does not mean that you are better than or less than anyone else. What it does mean is that it is part of your soul heritage, and it fully belongs to you. We desire your highest good. We cherish and love you more than words can convey to you now. Thank you. We say we will leave you now to get some rest, but in truth we are always with you, dear heart. Blessings and good night. Okay, I just read that section. Wow, that's an experience to read it out loud. I found energies coming into my voice that felt very much like what I was hearing when I wrote it. I've never read that out loud before. That was really cool. And I'm receiving again this message of remembrance, of such love, such light. And I'll tell you something about Swinna. I am a breast cancer survivor. As a matter of fact, what is it? It's almost Valentine's Day. It's February. Well, it's just after midnight. It's now February 14th. On February 11th, I experienced and celebrated my 15-year anniversary as a breast cancer survivor. It was very intense, and I won't go into that now. Maybe Carrie and I can talk about our near-death experiences because they're very rich and so valuable and amazing. But what I will say is I had a series of dreams, both before I knew that I had cancer and during the time of the treatments. This beautiful, very, very tall, incredibly strong woman was coming to me in my dreams. I know it was Swinna. I just know, and I've seen her before. I think she's been with me since I've been a child. And my sense is that she represents that aspect of my soul that is the closest to my Christed self as I have been able to be while embodied in a human body in the earth realm. I can't speak for any other realms per se because I don't quite recall them either in the past, and I have a feeling that some are happening now, and future timelines, another subject to talk about with Carrie. This is probably a really good time to let you know that, again, I'm Bibi Tinsley. My co-host is Carrie Keegan. She's out playing on a trip with a friend tonight. I have a website called the Bibi blog, and my name is spelled B-I-B-I, B as in boy, thebibiblog.com. Also, Holofractographic Radio has its place of listening, the listening place, the source for where you can go to hear these. All of our broadcasts are now being archived as podcasts. It's so darn exciting. I didn't realize that I wanted to do this until I started doing it. I mean, I had an inkling, but I had no idea that this was going to feel so good. Carrie, I miss you. Carrie Keegan. Carrie is Kerry, Keegan, carriekeegan.com. Carrie is an amazingly gifted astrologer, medical intuitive, channeler, and all-around fun gal. We're becoming very good friends in collaborating, co-collaborating, and co-creating. And she'll be back when the weekend is done, I presume, we are playing in this realm, and it feels to both of us as we are awakening and our masteries are coming online and being remembered by us. We have much to share with those who might be a little confused and those who want to play. Pretty much with anybody who finds themselves wanting to listen to us talk. It's quite a time, isn't it? It's just the most amazing time to be alive. And I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I'm leaving out. See, this is where I could go, Carrie, what am I leaving out? Let me just feel into where Carrie is right now. She's probably in dream time. Oh, yeah, I should say something about myself. Thanks, Carrie. Again, I was an actress for years and years and years. I've had about 4 near-death experiences. I was adopted, and I can hear some people say, why is she saying that? Well, those who are adopted know it's a big deal, and it's a huge light on the path of awakening, looking at the source and all of that. It's kind of unique, so I won't go into that part right now. I don't operate in a linear fashion at all, and I just put out a blog today about, I can't remember the title, it's about ADD, but to me, that is attention in different dimensions, or if you're really smoking, it's attention in higher dimensions. That would be ADHD. See, this is where I play, and it's not anything to be ashamed of, people. Those of you who have been quote unquote diagnosed with ADD or ADHD, it is the gift of where we originally came from. We are intuitive, we flow. Many of us are left-handed, curiously. I think I'm going off into one of my attention and higher dimension paths. So probably a good idea to corral it back right here. I'm going to do more of this reading. It's quite marvelous and fun. Left out a couple of pieces about me. I'm a photographer too. I talk to hummingbirds and crows and lizards and other beings. I am now seeing orbs. I started taking videos of them. When was it? It was either Christmas Eve or the winter solstice, one or the other. But I see orbs at night. I'm just waiting when I can, with my own eyes, not with a digital camera, although that was the catalyst that got me going. I love to use camera. It's going to be fun to see where this is going to go. I think that's probably it. I really want to also...